Hey, Pipe and Redbeard, I'm going to show you a video here of a bad situation that I got myself into felling a tree. I cut down a lot of trees, and I do think I know what I'm doing, but I'm not a professional. So the bottom line here is call a professional to cut down a tree. Don't assume it's going to be an easy task, or that it's not dangerous. That probably felling trees is one of the most dangerous things you can do in the country. Um, there's a lot of times those things go where you don't want it, and um, it's really easy to get in a situation like I'm showing here. This is not the first time that I've fell a tree wrong. It's not, and it's probably not going to be the last time. So watch this, but the message I want to get through to you is that have a escape plan, have a backup plan. If it takes longer, then you could really hurt yourself if you don't. My son was out with me, so he could kind of watch, and if things started going wrong, he could yell at me or something. And he did. And you'll see it here. The tree went the wrong way, and it would have landed right on me had I not been able to move out of the way. And so here's just a video I did real quick of hopefully some things, and just to show you how bad this could really go, and kind of things to avoid. But get a professional, or get a professional to tell you how to do this. Not me. So peace, love, God bless. See ya. Greetings, YouTube. Pipe and Redbeard. Yowza. Arg. Unknown tobacco, but now has some beach shavings in it. I don't know what it is. Been out. I did. It was one of those. Forgot I had some tobacco in there, and I started smoking it. But I'm outside cleaning up a tree that I noticed it had a bunch of big branches falling lately, and the top of it looked like it was pretty dead, so we had to bring it down, and I royally screwed it up. So it's a good idea to show you all the mistakes I made, so hopefully you don't, because this really could have hurt someone or something bad. It could have killed somebody, actually. So we're going to take a look at it and see just how stupid I really was. Alright, so here's the tree that I attempted to cut down. And if you see right there, it was rotten at the top. And what happened was I saw a few big limbs just keep falling, about one a day. And they were big enough where they were widow makers, if you will. And so I said, my girls come running back here sometimes, and I didn't want to have that happen, so figure I better cut it down. So here's where it started rotting out, and then this part on the ground right here is what I just cut off. But if you see how it sits, it's off the ground with a couple of big branches that are holding it. And if you don't think about this too clear, you can really make a big mistake here. So first things first, get the weight off of as much of the tree as possible before you go and try to get the thing on the ground. But you got to do that. Let me show you the other big thing here too, and we'll come back. So here's mistake number one, really. I got in a hurry and did not make my notch right at all. And really, besides that, you see here, there's two cuts. What I did was, I came in wrong and I wasn't really paying attention, but I cut too deep, really, to be trying to cut this thing down, because the second cut on top, you can see where my wedges were, didn't work out. So what happens is, you get a tree that,
you can't wedge really well to go where you want it, because the wedges are actually compressing that little piece of wood, and the tree falls the other way. Now, in order to get this thing to go, I had to stand over right where that tree is, actually. That's where I was standing and cutting into the side of it to try to get it to go. You can't just leave it like that either. That's not going to be good. But it came down. We didn't hurt anybody. But this is a really big no-no. You got to get this wedge cut, your notch. You got to get that thing cut well. And it needs to be straight, level, if you will, and pointed where you want the tree to go. Now, it's pointed the right direction. I wanted it to fall down there, but the hinge is way off. So you end up with this. Now, part of that is because there was a lot of weight on this side of the tree. I saw that and I thought, nah, it won't go that way if I do the notch right. And it might have done the same. It might have been okay, but I didn't leave myself any room for error here. So first things first, make your notch level. Make one back cut that is about an inch above where your notch is. So if you're looking at the tree, you want the cut to come like right about here. But you want to leave, this like 4-inch circle here. That's where it's going to hinge. So if you get your notch right and you wedge it, usually you can get a straight tree to go where you want it. But these big limbs over here didn't help anything. I pulled it over here. So you don't want to just start cutting on the tree and then have it fall on you, because this is really unstable where it's at. You cut into one of these that's weight bearing really, and that thing could really go on top of you in a hurry. Well, what you want to do is just get as much weight off as possible and remove all the stuff you cut off. So all this stuff right here that I've been cutting off of it, I'm going to get it out of the way, and then you can more decide how you're going to cut it down so that it doesn't end up falling and hurting anybody. So after I've got all these off, all the ones that are sticking down are actually the ones that got weight on it. So after I remove all this, I'm going to start from the top here where it's cut, and I'm going to slowly work my way down it until I reach this big one right here in the middle where primarily the weight is. So there's your point where it's going to be real tricky, and you got to just make sure you cut it right to where it'll land not on you. So I haven't really quite figured out exactly how I'm going to do that yet. But we'll see. And again, this is not me being a professional logger telling you how the real way to do it. This is me telling you what to try to avoid. And when you do get yourself in a mess like this, I don't know. Hopefully this will help you when you do. Because we all know, it doesn't matter how experienced you are or how much you know, you're going to screw up. And sometimes it's a big screw up. Now, thankfully, my failed notch over here and the tree falling over here, nobody got hurt or anything, but it's just not what you want. And it did have my adrenaline pumping for quite a while last night. So there's that. Anyway. Well, I just ended up pushing it over with the tractor. What do you know? I think if you didn't have a tractor, you could just you could do what I was going to do and slowly cut it from the end until you reached the big limb that was really holding it up. And you could cut it just to make sure you're out of the way, but the tractor sure made that a lot easier, because I just had to push it the one way and it went right over, and I didn't have to worry about it falling now. So if you got a tractor, just do that.